Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Not you off my black business.
Welcome back to another episode of Not You All in My Black Business. I'm Rapunzel with the bundles.
I'm Ari.
NATO.
And this is my beautiful aunt, Reshena.
Hey,
better
girls,
known
hey,
as the
boys.
homegirl healer.
Ooh, I like that. The homegirl healer. I like
that. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hey, children. I guess, child, NATO done told me I'm in the older generation, clearly. So, hey to the younger generations that mine, child, because apparently I'm out here aged out. So,
I ain't say you was the older generation.
Hey to all the young
generation.
people watching. Hey to maybe the people my age that I hope is watching. Hey, y'all, what's popping?
You know what you just learned? Never call a man old.
I call nobody. All generations matter.
You still saying people old. Some of all generations matter.
What is wrong with him?
Oh my God.
He just made me even worse with that statement.
I'm done.
Anyway, how was you guys' Thanksgiving?
I was really, really good. Well, you know what? I didn't go home, so it was Thanksgiving.
I think mine was amazing. Like, it was just good. The food was bomb. Of course, I cooked a little something. And like, I made a seafood lasagna, guys. Ooh.
Come on, seafood lasagna.
Ooh.
Okay.
And it was so and good. Like, it was like all of that. And also, like, the vibes were just really good. I was drinking a little bit. I was smoking a little bit. The family wasn't arguing. We were just good. And the thing is, at the end, we watched Last Holiday. Last Holiday is such a good movie. I just got to put that out there.
Oh,
it's
Last Holiday with Queen Latifah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Grand Hotel Poop. I always wanted to go to the Grand Hotel Poop. Yes, I love it.
It's such a beautiful movie. It always puts a smile on my face. But it was good.
What about y'all? Rapunzel, what about you?
Mine was okay. Unlike y'all, it wasn't all peaceful, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I had a Friendsgiving though with my coworkers, but you know, it was
good.
Cool. It was cool. Auntie, how was yours?
My Thanksgiving was good. Spent it with family, nice, quiet, laid back, lots of good food. All things considered, because you know I don't really be caring about the holidays like that, but you know I love being able to spend time with my family and eat good. You know, my boo made some macaroni and cheese. It was delicious, child. So we had a really good time.
My mom swears by that macaroni. Every time we come down,
she wanted to make some macaroni and cheese. Girl, leave my husband alone. He is busy, child. Chill.
Really just instead, just like that.
You doing something right.
It's good for sure.
When you can make mac and cheese right, you can cook.
Mm-hmm.
Same about seafood lasagna.
Now hold on.
Because that was definitely sounded like it was jamming on the one.
What kind of meat what kind of meat did you put in your lasagna?
I used lump crab, not imitation, lump, as well as baby shrimp and scallops. Yum, yum, yum.
Baby shrimp?
Baby shrimp, yes.
Baby like shrimp, the salad shrimp?
Like they like this big?
Yeah, the little
not that small. It ain't fried.
Listen, no matter how you them shrimp, they still go down to the
You can taste it. You can taste all of that shrimp.
That's the Mayflower shrimp.
And what's wrong with Mayflower? Not a damn thing.
It's good.
Oh, but yes, we love the holidays. That kind of brings us to this week and how we want to touch on like traditions and customs within our Black business. Mm-hmm. So like, How for y'all? How do y'all feel like the holidays and just traditions have like shifted for y'all as y'all matured into the beautiful beings that y'all are today?
I'll go first, I guess. I feel like holidays have changed for me a lot. Like since I was a kid, like Christmas used to be a big deal. Like my grandma, like we had big trash bags of just nothing but toys, and I mean the hugest trash bags every year. So it's like going to my grandma's house was like the latest thing about Christmas. She always had a tree. We always had presents, and my grandma to this day she still be buying all these kids stuff every year. And I'll be like, listen, we got too many kids now, grandma. You don't have to do it no more. Make sure even after she retired, she still makes sure the kids, the babies, our kids get stuff now. So that was the best thing about holidays. Now I don't really feel the same. Like I do, I try to have the energy so my daughter don't feel like how I feel, but it just don't mean the same. I guess it's because I've been like away from my grandma so long. As far as when I moved down here from when I was a kid, that it's like it don't matter as much to me anymore.
Food.
It kind of made me feel a little sad.
Me too.
Oh my God, I almost brought a little tear to my eye. Like, oh man, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
I say when you lose a matriarch of the family, it is just something else. It really is. And losing a grandparent.
Hold on, whoa.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, hold on now, wait a goddamn minute.
What did I do?
She's not
She's
here.
alive and well.
She's here.
Hello. Well,
I live in Charlotte. I said been away, now she gone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, to hear. I mean, Rapunzel got me feeling so bad. I'm thinking somebody just passed. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, no. I probably would have been crying, talking, what? My grandma.
No, she's still here. We're from, our family is from the DMV. So, we don't always get to be together because some of us live in Charlotte, some of us are in the DMV, child. So we just don't get to see each other every holiday. But no, she is still alive and kicking.
Well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. But the holiday season does feel weird now a lot. I think maybe for me as an adult, because I'll be 40 next year on my birthday. And I'm childless, so like I don't be, can I cuss on y'all podcast?
Oh yeah.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
So yeah, like I'm 40, child. I don't be giving a fuck about nothing. Like as long as like if my husband buy me something, I'll buy him something. And we'll get things for the little children in our life. But for the most part, I don't care. But I think there are a lot of other things that are like happening. People don't think about the effect of global warming. It's weirder now. It doesn't get like, at least here, you had a possibility of seeing snow in the winter, for Christmas. And like we did have snow for Christmas before. So now it always feels weird when I only need a jacket. So I think that there are a lot of things that are changing, but also I think there is a lot of awakening happening, a lot of detachment from maybe toxic patterns. I know we always like to kind of brush over the holidays with the happy brush, but the holidays is not a good time for everybody for a multitude of reasons. It could be because you've experienced loss, if you've dealt with infertility, just, financial things. There are a lot of things that can happen that might make the holidays difficult. And I just feel like, a lot of people, especially y'all's generation, which is why I'm glad we're even having this discussion, you're kind of unpacking a lot of things that generations before have been scared to address. Sometimes it doesn't feel good being around your family on the holidays. So some people choose to spend the holidays alone or with the family that they have created for themselves, whatever the case might be. So I definitely think that there is a bit of a shift in the atmosphere, if you will, that has kind of changed how the holidays are. Also, last point, then I'm shut up and pass the mic, but we know more historically. So we know when we're celebrating, Turkey Day, we know what time it is. We know what happened and how atrocious and how heinous the history surrounding that holiday is. with Christmas, you know, a lot of us are waking up, no shade to the Christians in the room, but a lot of us are not, as Black people, we're not Christian. And we're returning to more forms of spirituality that are more actual, authentic, and intrinsic to us as Black people. So we're not, we're kind of, some of us are, you know, deprogramming from the illusion of the holidays. So it is different. It just feels like things are ending because there's going to be a new way created forward. And y'all are at the forefront of that with your generation. So, yeah.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Right, you got some things.
Everything. You said it perfectly. I'm like, damn, what the fuck can I say? And you said it like you literally said. I'm like, damn, I was gonna say that too. You really took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, it really has changed so much. We're unpacking so many things that we just didn't really care about or even notice, or our families didn't even notice because they wanted to keep up a tradition of happiness. And my thing is like, was it truly happiness, like you said? Because my thing is, a lot of things happen, you know, whether or not even people pass. Like, you know, we around people that we really don't want to be around because of a traumatic experience and stuff like that. So we like sometimes try to put on a facade, like, yeah, but now we're older, we don't got to put on that facade anymore. Like, I don't want to be around you. I'm staying home. I don't like your food. You was meeting me when I was younger. And, you know, we don't got to put up with so many of the traumas that we were forced to go through as children. So I definitely see holidays changing. I mean, I didn't even go home. And my great grandmother, she passed, and she was the one that was like continuously being the head of the family. So a lot of things are different, and a lot of people are having kids as well. So them having kids, they're trying to create their own traditions. Like, we have a family here, let us like have our own Christmas, or let us have our own Thanksgiving. And I'm like, you know what, I'll let y'all have that. Everything can't be exactly how it was when I was 7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I accept it and I move on with it, and I'm taking it day by day.
I'm glad you say that. I have a hard time. Like, I had a hard time struggling with the changes, like, of how I grew up versus like living so close to my grandmother versus when I moved here to Charlotte, to North Carolina. And I moved here when I was 9. And it's like, I still deal with those changes. Like, I still feel some type of way certain times where like flashbacks happen, and I'm thinking about the things that I used to do at my grandmother's house with my cousins. And then I realized, like, damn, I'm not even close with my cousins no more. I barely know what the fuck they be having going on in their lives. And that kind of bothered me. Like, what do you do? Like, everybody got their own life.
It's sometimes you just gotta make time. And I think that's kind of where I am, like, right now. It's like, I don't know, growing up, like I'll say, like, Christmas, holidays, it was what it was. It was a happy time. It was also glamorized. It was made to meet this feeling. But now it's kind of hard with just being adults and just having everything else that's going on a lot in life, just with existing. And it's now just time to be like, hey, let's be happy. When it's just like, no, some people, they get like November blues. Me personally, I get November blues. Like,
What's that?
It's kind of like in November where you just don't if you just don't feel the same, and that could be a sense of you're going through a transitional period, or it's just, you know, your mood's just not there. And I get that a lot, but with now, I do try to see some of my family, even though they do get on my nerves sometimes. But it's just, sometimes you do need those little moments, even if it's for that time. You just don't want to have regrets later and being like, damn, I could have did this, or, you know, we really could have, but I was being selfish and I wanted to just, you know, spend Thanksgiving on my own. It's just, sometimes you just gotta remove yourself and be like, you know what, let me try this.
I agree.
I'll take
Yeah.
one.
And
No,
it's just
the cutoff. It's more so like, I don't know. I miss the tradition so much, y'all. But I'm so ready to create my own. And I think that's the thing for me. I'm like, I didn't have a choice. And now I have the choice, you know? So now I'm like trying to figure out, well, let's do something different. Like how you just said, you know, you did seafood gumbo. No, you said seafood
lasagna.
lasagna. So like you're doing something that's like different for a tradition as in Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm trying to do stuff different and involve my family in it as well. So we're not always doing things that we used to do, and we're evolving, doing different things, challenging our mindset, challenging us, going different places and stuff like that, and seeing different things that we never seen before. So that's what I've been trying to do. And I've been loving it. I mean, I've had Trevor mom came out here. She's the only person that's been out here. She had a good time. And I want my other family members to come out here and experience like the traditions I've created out here. But they're so used to like the South. And they're like, you know what? I don't want to get on a plane. I don't want to travel. You know, I don't want to be on a plane for like 8 hours or 7 hours. And I'm like, but you want me to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm with it.
I think creating your own traditions, I think it's such an important thing, and it's an empowering thing. Like I heard, you say, I heard multiple of you say it. Like a lot of these things are things that have been given to us, and if we peel back the layers of what has been given to us and what we are told should be a tradition, I think creating new traditions is an opportunity for us to do things that really resonate and that honor who we are and what we want and the experiences that we want to have. We spend a lot of time in our life trying to live up to the expectations that other people set. Trying to, like, some of the things that the choices that we make are because we want other people to be happy or because we're concerned about what other people think about us. And sometimes you have to consider, you need to really consider the source. No shade to our loved ones, but I don't have the same thoughts and I don't have the same views that some things I still have and some things I still hold on to, but my life experience has allowed me to evolve. So I don't have the same thoughts or opinions about things that I was told, like, ooh, I don't even want to, hopefully your grandma do not watch this episode, but I don't really want to, I really don't, like, I'm not a black, what's the best way to put it? I do not give a fuck about the Democratic Party as a black person anymore. I don't care. And I know that there are reasons as to why people do, but literally, I really am so tired of the, like, what do we call it? Like the voting for the lesser of two evils. Can we just scrap all the evil off the motherfucking table and let's just do what we're supposed to do? So I do not care. Like I'm literally not going to vote for somebody just because they are black or because they are a Democrat. For example, we're from DC. I don't live in DC anymore, but like I'm still in the DMV, obviously. But we have had representation in office in DC that is black and that is Democratic, and they are allowing gentrification to happen. Like people who literally, like, I lived in DC in the trenches of Dodge City, crime, murder capital of the world, DC. Okay, like that is the DC I came up in, and not being able to afford to stay in the city as these changes are happening is messed up. And they're the people who are in charge are people who fall under those guidelines. So I'm just saying that to say, like, I'm not voting. I'm literally voting based on what makes the most sense for me and not just being loyal to a party. These parties don't deserve our loyalty. But let me tell my mom that I don't care about the Democratic Party, that I am a registered independent. She was like, "You are raised a Democrat." Who is raised a Democrat? Also, I am grown.
It's more power to me because you're an independent thinker. You're not going along with the clock. Like when I talked to my grandmother was like, I said, "Did you vote?" She said, "Of course I voted. I did mail in, like I know." She said, "I did absentee voting because I'm older." I was like, "Who did you vote for?" I voted Democrat. I'm like, "Damn, you don't even know nobody. Like you don't even know nobody."
Right.
Like,
and that's how they blindly get our votes. Mm-hmm. That's how you have Joe Biden out here saying, "If you black, vote for me."
You ain't vote for me. You ain't black. Meanwhile, let's talk about the crime bill, Joe Biden in 1994. I was alive. I was there. And we're not even going to get into the other conspiracy things because I don't want y'all podcasts to be stricken off the internet. But everybody know what's on that laptop of somebody's child. Laptop out here wilding out. All kind of nasty shit on their motherfucking laptop. We all know the tea, but we cannot talk about those things. So do not ask me to align myself with a senile person who can't even keep their family in control.
Don't even know his numbers.
You know, that also
200 bajillion gillion dollars.
That also made me think. I'm like, you know, back to the holiday, real quick, just on that. I'm like, a lot of these holidays whitewashed. They're owned by white people. We would never be doing it if a white person never introduced it to American culture. Like we would never be thinking about the shit. We would be thinking about Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the 4th of July. Like we wouldn't be thinking about that shit.
We will be thinking about Juneteenth.
Well, you're true. I was about to say, damn, I just wish slavery was never a thing for real. Because Juneteenth would never be a thing.
Wouldn't be a thing, yeah. And we're from, you know, me and Rapunzel, girl, I have to remember to use your stage name, child. But we are from DC, so we have Emancipation Day in DC in April because slaves in DC were free like 2 years before everybody else. So we have that. That's not a thing that like everybody knows. I think we get the day off in DC, but not everybody knows that exists. But even now, like it is crazy as fuck to me that literally the whole country gets to be off Juneteenth. Was the whole country enslaved and needed Juneteenth to happen? But all of you niggas is off. Pardon my language. You can edit that out. But all of y'all is off. Everybody get the day off. Everybody get to celebrate. We can go to Walmart and buy like cutlery and cups that say Juneteenth from Walmart.
Right.
I can't. Do you know how many when Juneteenth, like when it really came to the forefront a couple of years ago, how many like Juneteenth t-shirts I seen on Facebook? I know y'all young kids call it Old Book, but how many people I saw selling t-shirts on Old Book about Juneteenth, and I click on what is the location of this post, and that post is from Vietnam,
Missouri,
Russia,
right,
Kazakhstan, all these other fucking countries that don't have nothing to do with no Juneteenth.
I will say when Walmart had the Juneteenth ice cream, it did look some type of good.
No, hold on. It did. It did. Damn. I ain't want to say it, but it did. You already said it. It's just a bunch of these white spaces just trying to create black spaces without black bodies.
Yes.
You know, like taking our traditions. Like I'm maybe thinking about braids. Like, no, they just braids. I'm like, no, but you was never rocking braids. Braids were ghetto. Dookie braids like they were ghetto. But now they're the thing. Look at Kim Kardashian wearing.
I was about to say,
you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Oh no, it don't. It's just hair. Like, no, it's not hair. It's culture. Because if it was hair, you would be rocking it from the beginning when braids were already introduced before 2010.
And this is why y'all gatekeeping is very important, especially your generation. Multiculturalism is whooping y'all ass at every turn. Yes. Multiculturalism is tearing you up and telling y'all that your culture belongs to everybody. It's to the point where a lot of people don't even believe that African Americans have a culture. We do have a culture. And in fact, we have subcultures. The culture in the DC area is different than the culture in the Charlotte area. It's different than the culture in California, you know, with Black people in California. We have like cultures and we have subcultures. It's very sophisticated. But that is taking like Southern cuisine is not soulful. It's Southern cuisine. I mean, it belongs to everybody. No, it did not. It did not belong to all of you. It did not belong to everybody. But multiculturalism will have you. I'm willing to set aside this aspect of myself, this part of myself, to be in the mix with everybody else. And sorry to say, but people are not doing the same thing for you.
They're not.
They're not doing the same thing for you. And I'm trying not to be controversial by talking about some of the things that are happening. Like, consider who is pushing the affirmative action case in the Supreme Court currently. A lot of people don't even know that that's happening, but there is a group that is fighting to get rid of affirmative action. And the group of people who are really involved with it's a group of students, and that group of students is comprised of a lot of people who last year we were saying stop blank hate toward them. But yet and still, y'all are trying to get rid of affirmative action that benefits our people. So when you are putting other people, you know, we have a tendency as Black people, because we are so kind. And I think this is one of the beautiful things about our culture. But you know, everything is energy. So every action has a reaction. So being a kind and giving person, being willing to open up your arms and welcome people into your community, welcoming people in and teaching them how to bathe and teaching them math and science and all of the things that we have done to create civilizations and have shared that with people. It's a really beautiful thing that we're so willing to share, but we will often allow that to blind us to the reality of who people are. And we will allow our culture to be taken. We will allow our culture to be turned against us. So now braids are okay because everybody else wants to wear braids. Or a really great example. So
Tanning.
tanning, tanning,
Tanning. Like, we like this. No, I want
tanning.
to be a little darker. I'm like this. But you never wanted to be this dark years ago.
These full lips.
Mhm.
Remember when the 90s when no one wanted a big butt? Now these don't want a
Mhm.
big butt.
No,
Mhm.
now the women are trying to run away from the big butts and get really small. Because if you notice, Kim Kardashian ass getting
Oh
frail
god.
and skinny as hell. Because my thing is now the body is used to them. Like, oh, we used it. Everybody else is
Mhm.
trying to get it. Let's go on and take somebody else's culture and then appropriate it and then
Mhm.
make it seem like it's ours.
Mhm.
Mm. Well, with that, with like us feeling like we have to protect our culture and like preserve our culture, it's like, what about certain things in our culture that really we don't really take advantage of anymore? I'll just say like a few weeks ago, I was working on the set of like a documentary, and we were going to homecomings for HBCUs, one of which was like Central Homecoming, and being able to see an HBCU parade, during the day, and just see all the people that came out, and all those people. It wasn't a lot of people, but you see a lot of people from the older generations. I didn't really see a lot of people that were actually students, and it's like we do need to preserve our culture, but we have to be out there. We have to make time. We have to go to these parades. We have to enable these cookouts and do those little things. Do these little family reunions. We gotta keep on.
I'm gonna have to get on the older culture then too, because I went to a HBCU and I know the people that actually went. I know a lot of people that still actually go back to homecomings. But the thing about the
Mhm.
HBCUs is a lot of alumni, they're not putting money back into the HBCUs.
Mhm.
They're not helping the schools. They're not helping fund the schools. They're just
Mhm.
showing up during homecoming just to show
Mhm.
face. Like, I'm
Mhm.
here. I'm back after 2 years. But did you donate to the HBCU? Have you came by to check on the school? Have you come by to check on your plots or whatever? Like, a lot of people just show up when it's time to do extracurricular shit.
Mhm.
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 And we're not really helping our institutions.
Yep. It's really easy for us to like point the finger at everybody else, and everything is everybody else's fault. And we have not figured out how we can take responsibility for these things. And I also went to a HBCU too. And so I think that like even the perception of things, how we see the value of certain things that are culturally ours versus everybody else. I know that this is not true for everyone, but I know, like, I have a friend who told me that her mom told her that she needed to go to a PWI instead of a HBCU because she needs to learn how to like live around white people. But we literally live in a white ass country. So you're going to know
Right.
how to do that. Like Black people just know how to do that because we don't have a choice. And so I just thought it was really ignorant of the mom to say, and not encourage her, because there was something, nothing is perfect. And I do think that there's room for HBCUs to grow and to do a better job of helping to instill the culture, to be, keepers of culture. Because sometimes these institutions, like, they are just trying to be Black versions of white institutions.
You're right
Yeah.
about that.
And
Mm.
so that is a thing that's the thing that definitely needs to change. Because if we're educating our children, one of the things that I don't understand is all of the shit surrounding critical race theory. I understand why it's important, but I really believe that as Black people, it is our job to be teaching our children and the children
Facts.
around us about history. Because when you allow like what's the phrase? So something about the lion. Like it's never the loser who tells the tale. It's the person. It's the victor. It's the person who, if you have somebody poaching a lion, the lion never gets to tell his tale about what happened. You always gonna hear it from the perspective of the person who poached the lion. So they're going to like make themselves look better. They're going to glamorize it. They're going to whitewash the story to benefit them. And so that's why I really feel like we as Black people, when we're talking about keeping culture, we don't do a good enough job of talking to our kids about our culture and our family history. We don't do a good enough job of talking to our kids about health in the family, which is so fucking important, because a lot of us are around here sick and we are beat up and worn down physically, and we're trying to figure out what's going on, and we don't know because families are not talking about these things, so that people can kind of get a one up and figure out how we can make our lineage healthier. We're not talking about those things. We are not talking all of the cultural things that we really focus in on that bring us together, like holidays are whitewashed holidays that don't really reflect who we are. So we have to take more responsibility. I think that it's good that certain things are being dismantled, certain traditions are being dismantled, because this is creating a room for us to create traditions that are really true and authentic to us. One of the main reasons why some of us, a lot of people in our community, are so brainwashed is because they are trying to see themselves in a culture that is never going to reflect them, because it's not their culture. And the culture that does belong to us, we do not feel like it is good enough. And that's why we give it away easily. That's why we allow culture vultures. I never understand how these niggas take their ass on Vlad TV. Like literally a culture vulture. Okay. How could you? How could you? Why are you talking to the ops? Like, didn't nobody never tell you what? Like, no. We are so quick to give our shit away, and we have to stop giving our shit away.
Attention for attention, and I'm just like, that attention is not going to get you nowhere, because you're going to look at that shit in 3 to 5 years. You're like, this bitch, I made a fool of myself. And somebody else going to be pointing it out. Remember you did that shit? Yeah, you look stupid as hell.
That Zeus network is not going to save you.
Oh, baby, but I'm definitely subscribed, and I'm definitely gonna watch, but it's definitely a mess.
I'm sorry. I always say I need a balance in my life. Everything can't be perfect. You know what I'm saying? There are going to be turmoils. Like, if everything's perfect, what the hell I'm learning from? Like, I watch shit sometimes like this, where I know who the fuck to stay away from. I know, I know what not to say. I know what not to do when I find, you know what I'm saying? I watch some shit and I learn some shit. Everything don't need to be goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't need to be peaches and cream. So I do enjoy a little bit of ratchetness in my life.
We gotta fight every 5 minutes.
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you gotta flip a table to let a bitch know what time it is. Sometimes they can't just hear the words. They need you to flip the table and knock all that shit over, so that they know that you're being serious and they need to stop playing with you.
Let's just make sure the camera's rolling.
I'm glad you brought up spirituality too. I'm so glad about the spirituality. I feel like that's exactly where our community is heading. Majority, like a lot of the younger generation, I'll say, spirituality based, because my thing is, like, Christianity, it leaves so many people out. So people don't feel seen, don't feel heard. Like, that God can't be talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Because if that God's talking to me, I don't belong in that God's world. It's through the eyes of you all. So I can't be a part of that. And I think so many now, like the older generations are like, damn, I understand where the kids are coming from sometimes. Like, yo, and I see my grandma not going to church as much, you know, as she used to. Because I'm like, now she's get to see me be who I am and express myself. And she like, it could have her contradicting her thoughts and beliefs that she believed a long time ago. She's like, you know what? I used to think my grandson was going to go to hell. But I just see how good of a person he is. How could God allow him to go to hell? So maybe something in that Bible ain't right. And that creates the connection with the older generation with me, because I'm like, there ain't nothing wrong with you. I don't know why I let religion make me believe something was wrong with you.
And you got to consider the source of a lot of this stuff. I don't mean to like overtalk everything, but you got to consider the source of some of this stuff, because it's so funny that like we have such a thing about homosexuality in our community. Now, I think that there are a couple of ways to look at it. Number one, when you consider the people who have like knifed up the Bible, do you know some of the stuff that they were doing back then? Do you know some of the things that were happening in the Roman Empire? Some of the very like heinous and vile things that were happening that they were doing to, like, not even to each other, but to adults doing to children back then. Like, just very heinous and morally corrupt shit happening. I have been like randomly watching a whole lot of like videos about European history, like the monarchies and stuff, because it's so much fucking drama and messiness in it, and I love it. But do you know how like inbred a lot of those families are?
Oh, incest.
Yes.
Like
That's why they
incest
love the Game of
down.
Thrones and shit. That's why they love the Game of Thrones and shit.
Incest down, but this is who you are listening to tell you who is moral. Like one of the most like inbred monarchs was like Charles something. I can't remember which name it was, because like I've been watching a ton of these videos, so it's so much information in my head. But like literally when they were describing him for real, the paintings don't do it justice. When they were describing him, I was like, this nigga's an ogre. He's a fucking ogre. Like he had a water head, like one leg small, one leg big, like just like because of like all of the like the inbreeding like tore up their genetics, like a lot of mental illness. A lot of people were developmentally delayed and all of that. And these are the people who ruled the empires, who spread all of this slavery and the vile filth in our world that we are still trying to kind of deprogram from. So you have to consider the source of things. And anybody who can be that gross and that sick and that heinous, you can never push a religion on me, and you can never get me to believe that this behavior, like you saying that this one behavior, this one thing about me will send me to hell, but literally that means all of Rome was in hell, because all of Rome was literally getting down. So consider the source of your information is my thought about that.
You ain't lying. Weird as shit. Weird as shit. We used to marry older men used to marry 12-year-old girls. I'm like,
yeah.
Multiple 12-year-old girls.
Multiple. And not just girls, boys. We like eliminate. We don't talk a lot about the fact that it's not, these things were not just happening to girls, it was happening to boys too. And I know, like, I remember I was reading something where they were talking about homophobia in Jamaica. We know that there's a lot that exists, but when you look back historically, consider, like, if you ever heard of the term bed warmer, look up what the term bed warmer means. And then adding on to that, you think that the bed warmers were girls. The bed warmers were not girls. The bed warmers were boys. And I think we discount a lot how big intergenerational trauma, multi-generational trauma is. A lot of us are still trying to like deprogram to clear out energetic generational shit that has been passed down to us across multiple generations. And the work is hard. And it's a lot because we are contended with shit that lifetimes that we may or may not have even been present for, depending on how you feel about, reincarnation.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I think I should watch this. It's like this little documentary piece on Vice, and it dealt with Jamaica, and it was showing like where the gay people lived in Jamaica.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, this shit is wild.
They all stay in a specific area.
They stayed in
in the trenches.
Like they were thrown away from their families, and you could tell. Like, I dislike to say this, but a lot of the time, and the only reason I dislike to say this is because I'm one of those visible gay people in the world. Like when you look at me, you just be like, oh yeah, he gay, And I just dislike a lot of the time that I don't get to see gay people in other diasporas be the gay people I know in my life. Like they're not just flamboyant. And all the time I'm seeing like in different areas, especially when I was in the Vice thing, like they're just overtly flamboyant for money purposes, for sexual money purposes. I'm like, oh my God, like you just see they look like streetwalkers. And I'm just like, we're so much more than that.
But we're not even given the chance to show we're so much more than that. Well, I don't want to end this up. I feel like there's so much more we could talk about.
No, I think I found my favorite guest now.
Ah!
I'm sorry, it changed again. I'm sorry. I just
So
usually.
that
I
means
knew we had so much
it's
to
gonna
talk
be.
about.
I'm gonna have that title for about a week, and then you're gonna be on to the next one. But it's
No,
okay.
no, no. I'll say
It's
this.
okay,
I
sugar.
believe. Look. I don't care who watching. My best friend. Well, I don't give a fuck who watching that's been on here. I'm gonna say this. You have been the most insightful person that we've had. Literally.
Oh, the most
Willingly without having to be asked. You know, it just the
Mhm.
insight just comes. And that's what I love because it rolls naturally. And I'm like, thank you so
Right.
much, Rapunzel, for breaking your heart because she's amazing. She has so many jewels and gems. And I'm like, I'm picking them up. I'm like, damn, I'm picking that shit up.
Yes.
Look at you melting my heart. Thank you, sugar. I appreciate all of those beautiful, kind words.
Do you want to tell them about your business and what you do before you go?
Oh, yes. Oh, because I guess I never said that. So I am Reshena, the homegirl healer. I am a Reiki master teacher, a registered 200-hour yoga teacher, honey. I do yoni steaming, all kind of things, helping people, especially Black women, but Black people to connect to their power to heal themselves. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of energy to shift. So we need to heal our way through it. So that's what it's given. I teach Reiki classes all the time, in person and virtually. So you can hit up my website, thehomegirlhealer.com, to see what I got popping, to find all of my social medias. But I'm basically the homegirl healer everywhere. And yeah, there's merch on the site. So holla at me, thehomegirlhealer.com.
Yes, support our Black-owned businesses, our Black queens out here. Is there any last words y'all all want to say just before we get off this good old thing?
Never apologize for being Black.
Yes. Work as much as you can each day to just know yourself and know your history.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know you're gonna go.
Okay, I'll go. Well, first of all, before I say what I have to say, I just want to thank each of you for allowing me to be on this podcast. It is so awesome to like connect with the three of you, but also just I'm so glad that young people are doing the work and are talking and talk. It's so important. And on that, this is what I will say. There is a difference between an elder versus an older. There are people who are older who are out here just being old ass niggas. And then there are people who are actually being elders who are leading. And I know that the mindset of young people is to go forward thinking that you know everything. I was young once. And so you think that you know everything. We need your passion and we need your energy and your spirit. But don't forget that you need the wisdom of the elders. We got to bridge the gaps in our community, okay, on all the levels.
Yes. Oh my God.
To be fed.
Yeah, like yes. I'm gonna write that one down. I'm gonna write that one down. I like that. I like that.
But yes, guys, tell us if this is your favorite guest. Like, we need to bring her back.
Yeah. Bring me back, child. Bring me back. But definitely bring me back at a decent time. Bring me back when I can put some makeup on and look like something. This is like I'm about to go crawl in the bed and cuddle up with my boo. As soon as we wrap up, this is what this look is giving. But let me know when I can look like a piece of something. Everybody like a big piece of something. Okay.
All right, guys. We love y'all. Thank you for watching. We're gonna hit y'all on the next one.
Bye.
Mwah.